Now we've done all the basics in binary, it's now time to look at floating point numbers. Now, floating point numbers are stored differently to integer numbers. We use some of the same ideas, but because I'm introducing a decimal point, we have to do a bit more work to actually store it. In order to get to floating point numbers, I first of all need to look at something called fixed point binary. Okay, so fixed point binary is a way of storing imagine I want to store this number here, 63.125, or 63 and an eighth. Now, what I do is I store, if I was going to store this in a denary, okay, I've got my decimal point there, I need a 6 and a 3, so I need 6 tens, 3 ones, 1 tenth, 2 hundredths, and 5 a thousandth in order to store that. So you can replicate this similar idea in binary. In binary, like we got before, we got the base 2 system. So we've got 2, 4, and 8. So after the decimal point, here, we've got a half, a quarter, and an eighth. So this binary number here, before the decimal point, so this side, is normal binary. Okay, so I've got a 2 and I've got a 1, which is 3. Then after the decimal point, I've got my half, quarter, and notice it kind of goes that way this time. Okay, so it gets bigger going to the right, whilst the normal numbers get bigger going to the left. Okay, so it's kind of like the opposite direction. So I've got a half and I've got eighth. So adding those two fractions together gives me 5/8. So remember, we find the highest common denominator and then we just convert through. So that's going to give me 4/8 plus 1/8, which is 5/8. So this fixed point binary number is going to be 3 and 5/8. So let's have a look at another binary number. So again, we look at the left-hand side first. So that is going to give me 4, a no 2 or 1. Then I've got my decimal point here, so that's going to be 4. Then on this side, I've got my fractions. So I don't have a half, I don't have a quarter, but I do have an eighth. I don't have a 16th, but I do have a 32th. Okay. Again, the highest common denominator is going to be 32. So I just take the eighth and turn it into a 32th. Okay. So in order to go from 1/8, I need to get to 32. So I simply times that by 4. Okay, so times both the top and the bottom by 4, which gives me 4/32. And then I add the other 32th on, which gives me 5/32. Okay, so you just do a simple bit of fractional maths. So to get yourself started, practice on these numbers here, converting each one into fixed point binary. So remember, this is normal binary on this side, and the other side is going to be a fraction. Whatever the highest bit on this side, that's going to be your denominator for the fraction. And here are the answers. A quick little tip when you're doing this, always look for the one on the rightmost side, the highest one effectively. So here, that is going to be an eighth. And notice the denominator is also an eighth. Here, I've got a 16th as the one that's on the right hand side, the furthest from the right hand side, which gives me 16th. Okay, so 2, 4, 8, 16. Here, I've got another 16th, which is why 16th. Here, the biggest one I've got is a half,